All right, y'all, I have pictures. So if you're up here, you may want to move a little bit so you can see. In June, I posted on Facebook that my 8.5-year-old daughter, Miriam, who's smiling up there, came home from camp with 34 stuffed animals, or Stuffies, as she calls them. See for yourself. Yes, that is me, covered in Stuffies. Miriam likes to point out that she only got 30 Stuffies at camp. She went to camp with 4. We are a house overrun with stuffed animals and other toys. Judge all you want. I've given up on the mommy wars, and I just don't care anymore. I interviewed Miriam about her Stuffies yesterday afternoon. Do you love all of your Stuffies? All of them, every single one. Why are they treasures? Because I play with them, and I love my cats too. Why? Because they're fun, and Cassie can fly. If you had to pick a favorite, who would it be? That's too hard of a question, but if I had to pick either Cassie or Baby Bear, what would you do if you lost them all? I'd cry and then snuggle with the kitties all night long. Or if I had $1,000, I'd buy more Stuffies. How would you feel if we took some away? Side note, this happened 2 years ago. It was a traumatic event. Really bad. I'd miss them. Could we take some away right now? No, because I love them too much. What does it feel like to have something you have loved taken away? Really, really bad. Well, what does that mean? It means I don't feel good. I also asked Miriam if she prefers to buy her own Stuffies or if someone gives one to her. She told me that she likes when someone gives one to her and said, "It's happy to get something you didn't know you were going to get." She also said she likes to trade her Stuffies with her best friend at school so that they can each have a new friend. The truth is that she does love these Stuffies, and they hold a lot of importance for her. She saves her money to buy things now, or she convinces a grandparent to do it. That's where the 30 Stuffies from camp came from. I did not do that. Sometimes we institute rules that for a new Stuffy to come in, an old one has to leave. But now we mostly rely on the fact that she's saving her money, it's hers, and she just needs to be responsible for what she purchases. These things have significance for her, and I think back to the physical things I have had for years that carry significance for me. I still have my 36-plus-year-old teddy bear, and he sits in a place of honor on my dresser. I moved a lot after my parents got divorced, and it's one of the few things I've had for my entire life, or at least the parts I can remember of it. So I can't judge my child for the items that she loves. But it is hard, because this child also loves every scrap of paper, cardboard box, piece of trash, and roll of tape. Every piece of art from school, from here, from camp, from after school, and from McDonald's. And I just can't. Like, oh my goodness, I just can't. Can we please clean up the dining room table? Can we clean the kitchen table? I have nowhere to eat, people. These are often things that you will hear in our house, repeatedly, in any given day. This mama sneaks things into the trash. You may be sneaking things too, but me, I'm sneaking twisty ties from the bread bag. And I can make so many jokes about it and make it seem funny, but it is hard and overwhelming. Like the vast majority of 8-year-olds, Miriam is messy. So messy. And I myself have severe attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, inattentive type, meaning that I'm not particularly hyper, but I have no attention span. That also is couched with some anxiety, and those are two things that often go together. So what does this have to do with having a messy kid? Well, it means that I'm also pretty awful at cleaning, and then I get overwhelmed by a really big mess. Yay, me! If you Google ADHD and cleaning, you'll actually get tons of information about this and all of the adults in the world with ADHD who just can't clean. It just doesn't work. It's true. It's hard to do. Like, I see somebody waving hands up there. Yep. So when Miriam's room is totally trashed in that way that only children and college students can manage, like, I can't even walk in her room. Emotionally, I can't handle it. When I think about trying to deal with it, it makes me want to cry. And sometimes I actually do, which means that Kevin, my husband and Miriam's dad, has to deal with it. And he hates it too, because who doesn't hate making their child clean their room? But his executive functioning is chugging right along, and he can help her break it down into bits and pieces of what to do that work for her. Do I wish I had less clutter in my house? Of course. Do I get overwhelmed by it regularly? Yes. Do I try to declutter? Yes, I really do. Am I going to take away my child's stuffies and paper and tape and scissors and fabric and? No, I'm not. I'm starting with her learning to clean up after herself, just like almost every other parent on the face of the earth. But I'm not going to take these things away. Here's why. For everything I've mentioned, it's not just that it's a new friend. Those things represent potential to her. In my interview with Miriam, she mentioned Cassie and said she was fun because she could fly. Now, I want all of you to imagine in your head what Cassie might be. And I can 99.9% guarantee that you are wrong. Ready? Cassie is a flying otter. Yes, you heard that right, a flying otter. Is she up there? Yep. Miriam decided that Cassie, the river otter, needed to fly, and she designed wings for her. Grandmom and Paul Pete, Kevin's mom and stepdad, fabricated the wings. Miriam designed them. Another favorite of Miriam's is Flame. Flame is a red fox with a wheelchair designed by Miriam and built by Miriam and Kevin. Next up is Momo. Do we have Momo? There's Momo. Momo is a character from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a really good show. You should all watch it. Momo is a flying lemur. He is made from paper, tape, bendy straws, and bobby pins. Next is a decoration that Miriam made out of Christmas trash yesterday for me. And then we have Dino Find. This is a board game that Miriam created on her own, also from trash. Now, yesterday she insisted that that bag of paper scraps was not trash. We're there. And next up is Curvebee. Curvebee is a stuffy that Miriam drew, cut out, and mostly sewed by herself. So no, I'm not going to take away her stuffed animals that always have the potential to be more than they are. I'm not going to deny her the paper and tape that she can turn into just about anything. And I'll even let her use some of my not so good fabric and my good fabric scissors. As long as she stays out of the trash can itself, I'm not going to stop her from rummaging around the house to find things to use creatively. The truth is that one of my biggest treasures is seeing my child create and explore, and that is what she is doing with all of these things. It is how she is discovering the world and making it her own, and being able to watch that happen makes my own world a little bigger and brighter, and I treasure her all the more for it.